Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory Update 4. In our last episode, we set up batteries, finally, using the new recipe that's made in a blender. So we are now mixing alumina and sulfuric acid and aluminum casings to make batteries. Making the sulfuric acid locally here, we are belting in packaged water and packaged alumina, unpackaging them and making the appropriate things here. And we are getting that packaged water and packaged alumina, if you were not here for the last episode, from over here at the aluminum factory. I thought this would be kind of fun to set these belts up right up here on top and ship the bottles over as something different to do. It's probably not the most efficient use of anything, but it works. It works anyway. So we have the two packagers here. We're sending the things up, as you can see. I'm not sure if I have enough packages on the belt or not. It looks like I might, though. I didn't actually do the math on how many packages and whatnot, given the distance and blah, blah, blah. That just seems like too much work. So we just have this, and I think it'll work out fine. We're splitting the packages evenly, which may not be the best thing to do because this one's using 15 and this one's only using 10 per minute. But I think it'll be okay, because this one eventually will just back up and then more of them will just go this way. And as long as I have enough packages kind of seated on the belts, we should be alright. So we're going to leave this alone, and we're going to continue working on the bus. And I think we could pick up actually over there where the batteries are, where we left off, and see what else we need to work on to get this thing all going. And we might actually be mostly done with the bus changes and upgrades. Nobelisks, we just had one assembler making those. It's 3 per minute, but it's fine. We don't use very many of them, but when we do, we want to have them. So that's useful. We're making beacons here at a rate of just about 5 per minute. Yep, that is correct. I'm going to change this number, though, just to bring it down to 5. I could also have typed in 5. I don't know why I don't type in the actual number of things that I want. And then we're also making rifle cartridges here. As you can see, I have the beacons going out onto the bus and then coming right back in to make the rifle cartridges here. And we're just making a full manufacturer worth of those because they're fairly cheap and we don't need a lot of them super often, but we need a lot of them when we need them. So again, that's a good thing to have a lot of. Whether that's enough or not, if I was doing a lot of external activity, it might not be enough, but I'm going to go ahead and mark those off in my spreadsheet, by the way. Rifle cartridges and beacons. Green. Oh, we're not getting enough fabric in here. Oh, we do need to upgrade the fabric, so maybe we should go and do that. Yeah, we're not getting enough fabric, and I know what the problem with that is. We need to upgrade the oil area, though. Which reminds me, before we get down there and start working on that, which may be the next episode, or maybe the one after that for sure, let me know what you think. Should I do away with the current fuel recipe that uses the bottled water, the packaged water, and makes the loop with the packaged fuel and blah blah blah, and just replace it with the blender recipe that is just 2 steps instead of 4. I'm kind of leaning toward it. It's going to require a little bit more work in order to set it up properly, but I think it'll be worth it because it's using the new recipes, and that's a good thing. So let me know in the chat, on the Premiere, or in the comments, or of course on Discord, which you can find in the description, what you think about that. But we have filters at least being made here. And I just have it set to 3 per minute, and then half of those immediately go back in here to make the iodine infused filters. So 1.5 go in here, and then 1.5 of the other filters. So we end up with 1.5 of each filter per minute, which works out nicely. And that's kind of the end of that. This side of the bus. I'm going to go ahead and mark those as green because they're configured properly. It's just a matter of now the supply of everything. And that's actually, wait a minute, that's not correct. That isn't correct. I wanted to have 53.333 of these. I want 4 of these and then 4 of these. That way I have 2 of each. Let's just do, or 2 of these, sorry. 2 of these and 2 of those. So I wanted to step it up just a little bit. just because if we ever did some exploring, we'd want to have those. And that's the end of the bus on this side. And then on this side, I think we left off somewhere around the frames, whether it was which frame, I'm not sure. So let's just come back here and see. We actually did do these. We have 1.5. No, that's not the frames. That's not frames. This is frames. We have 1.5 of these, 75%, times both of them. 1.5 of those. I'd already marked those off as done. The, what are these called? The encased industrial pipe. This is where we left off. So for these, we need to actually have 5 total assemblers of these now. And that's because we're using a little bit more of these items than we were before, I think. Or maybe I stepped it up production-wise a little bit. I'm not sure, actually, at this point. But I'm going to go ahead and put another assembler down. We're just going to make 5 even of these. Let's copy and paste. And then I can do this bit here, and I'm going to take this out and replace that with just a splitter stack. We're just going to do this the same way everywhere. Okay, so you go here. Wait, that's only one. It's kind of funny how I changed my building style a little bit over the course of this series. By bringing one of these items down to the floor, and then connecting it that way instead of just leaving them up on this level and connecting them in. It's interesting, kind of a development thing. And then, let's see, these need to be, how many items of these each do we need? So the encased industrial pipe, we need 100 total concrete and 140 total steel pipes. So we're going to need to upgrade the, what did I just do? Nothing? Okay, good. I thought I did something on my spreadsheet, but I didn't, apparently. And I'm going to put this in here and this in here, because each one doesn't need very much, but it was 100 concrete, so we need to have a Mark II belt up here, which it looks like we might already have. We do. But I'm going to upgrade it the whole length, given our newer sort of plan or style. And then down here we actually need to have a Mark III belt of pipe now. So let's go ahead and pick that. I guess I could have used the tools to do this, but that's okay. The E menu. And then this needs to be upgraded. And then I could do this and E to get Mark III. U. And U. And that is a Mark III there, so we'll wait until I figure out exactly how much I want on each, when we do that item, I think. And then this item's just producing, I guess I'm producing 20 per minute. Makes sense. 14 and a bit of those are going right next door to the heavy encased frames, and then the rest of them go to the mall for building of Mark IV belts. So yeah, so these go out and then they come right back in here, right there. And it's the only other place they go besides the mall. Yes. Okay, so that's heavy encased frame, or encased industrial pipe. And then we need to check on the steeled frames, which are the baby bore cubes. 4.5 of these. Well, we stepped up production of this, didn't we? So I could do, again, 4.5. Divided by 5, or I could just do the last one at 50%, and I think that's probably the easier method. Let's copy. Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all. I just pasted. No. Why? Copy. Paste. I'll put some of this junk in here now. And then paste again, and then we'll set this one at 50%. I did the same thing here. Yeah, because this is the earliest part of the bus rebuild that we did. way back when. There. 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 It's been a long, long time. And then these need... Let's see what these need. Total of 9 reinforced iron plate. Okay. 45 steel pipe. And that's it, because there's only 2 items in. So these all are just Mark 1 belts. Straight up all the way across, all the way in, everything. I'm really liking this hover pack, though. Being able to fly to connect all this stuff and build all this stuff is really nice. I was also, you can tell, I was also inconsistent on whether I... Out of iron plates. Whether I built the... what's it called? Whether I built the builds, the designs, or the lifts with the lifts going up or the lifts going down to connect them. It's an arbitrary thing, other than just the way that the lift component here works. As you can see over here, I did some of them the other way. All right, so that should be working now. No power though. I didn't power that last one either, didn't I? I did not. I guess that would be good to do too. Okay, and then you can go here-ish. Good. There. There. Alright. And then that should be hopefully good. Oh, I need to connect belts up here first. Then it would be good. Alright, so we have those, and we're only ever producing 13.5 of these, so Mark 1 belt will always be fine. Mark those off. And now we're gonna... well, not quite yet. Steel beams. I have one other thing that I need to check, actually. I think it was back here. It's wherever we're making the screws at. Ah, yeah, it was here with the rotors. I wanted to see if I had this machine set properly or not. I do, 75%. This is that steel screw recipe, which is what the steel beams reminded me of. The steel screws reminded me of it. Because the steel beams reminded me of it because the steel screws are made from steel beams, obviously. Obviously, because we were looking at the recipe, of course. And we did those, and this is our connector bus. We did those. We did not do these yet. So the next is reinforced, or stitched iron plates, rather. We need another one of these, which means that this beam here, support beam, needs to come out and possibly be moved, or I could just leave it alone. Which I'm probably going to do that. Oh, I must have wedged the 2 meter on top of the 4 meter one. Interesting design choice, I guess. Goes there. And then this one I did with the double lifts. Interesting. Because I know I built this one before the other ones, so that's an interesting difference, I suppose. And then these are, let's see, stitched iron plate for assemblers. We need 150 wire, 75 iron plate, and that produces 22.5. So 150 wire is no longer going to be a Mark II. It needs to be a Mark III belt. Let's wait and do this. Like this. And then each one is still going to be a regular, a regular lift, though. 75 iron plate's actually a Mark II belt, also. Come on, Wally. There. But Mark I lifts, as I said, are fine. And we needed 4 Yep, 4 full assemblers at this. Did I? I didn't connect outputs either, did I? Man, am I brain damaged or what? I just looked at the output of that one. I was like, oh, I need to connect the output to that? Huh? Yeah. Good job, Molly. You guys are probably yelling at me in chat. Which is okay. I deserve it. No, that's not how we connect up belts. That's how IT Machinist connects up belts. Case in point, our... what's it called? Our Cole Power in our multiplayer series, where he connected belts up in that fashion. It is like directly below me, but I couldn't connect it. It's funny. Okay, now we are making more things. And now you get the same treatment. And I still need to do the inputs, though. And I'm out of rods now. Okay. I believe I'm making the rods out of steel somewhere. Maybe? Where am I making the rods? Here's the rod belt. Oh, right. It's one constructor making iron rods. Because we don't really need that many. It's mostly used for building like this. And I have a whole box full of them at the mall, but I didn't want to go all the way to the mall. Because those things happen. Okay, so 4 of these making stitched iron plate. Put a power pole in. Actually, let's do the power line in. Go there. And there. And then this goes here. Here. So now that we have all the new stuff built, and we are making lots of, I don't know, old stuff, I guess. These belts need to be upgraded still on the input side. So you're going to be a Mark III belt. Now we're going through kind of the original stuff, or some of the low-tier stuff that didn't change recipe-wise. We can do a lot better with our stuff. This needs to be a lift, Mark III lift. So Mark II belt, Mark III belt, Mark III lift. Actually, I should make that a Mark II lift, and then do the Mark III lift, like that. And that means we obviously need to have a Mark II belt worth of iron coming in here, and we don't have that right now. Well, we do, but it's only until right there. So that's going to be another thing that's going to have to get upgraded, I guess. Mark III of wire. And here we have at least a Mark III, so that's fine. And actually, that's the end of the line for wire these days. So let's go ahead and take this out. Okay. Back over, through, around, down. That at least takes care of that for now. Mark that one off on my spreadsheet. And then the next ones are pipes. Steel pipes. We need to have 16.5 steel pipes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 6, because this one is the steel beams, which is still just 1. So, as you can see, we don't have the room for more of these. One option would be to try and set them up someplace else to add them in. And another option would be to overclock 1 or more. And I think I'm going to choose the overclock option. We have, how many did I say? 13. So that means we need to overclock 3 of them to 200%. And 1 of them to 150%. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shards. Means we need to go find some slugs. Good thing I have a bunch. Over here on this side is the thing. That should be good for now. Because at this point, trying to rebuild a bunch of stuff to make room for these additional needs is not really conducive to playing the game. So let's see, which ones do I want to upgrade? I think I'm going to upgrade the ones here at the head end. They get used more anyway, so I think that makes some logical sense since you're spending the money on upgrading them. The money meaning the power. You might as well upgrade them properly. So this one now, that one now counts as 2, so now we're up to 14. And this makes 15. I could do a 250 also, but I think I'm going to just do it this way. This one makes 16. And then this one makes 16 and a half. Now, that means that this one's producing 40 per minute, which is still fine on a Mark 1 belt, which is good. But I think we're going to have to upgrade some of these belts and everything. Let's see, and probably on down the line. We're making 330 steel pipes, so that's going to have to be a Mark 4 belt. And I'm going to upgrade it probably from here. I think that should be okay. And we'll do the upgrade all the way to where we, at least as far as we need it. I'm only still taking 11 to the mall, so I'm going to leave this as a slow belt. But then we need to have Mark 4 here. And we're putting only a handful, I think. Let's see, where's that going? That's going into the pipe bombs, I think. Let's see. The pipe bombs are taking 30. Okay, so that's still 300. And then that is, what is that? No, that's the pipe bombs. What was this then? This was most definitely something else. Oh, this is rifle cartridges. Those are also just 30. So now, after this split, we're down to 270. We could take this down to a Mark 3 belt now, I think. Wrong button. There we go. We could take this down to a Mark 3 belt, which is what it is. I think that makes sense to shrink these down. And then we're pulling off here for the steeled frames another 140. So that puts us down to 130. We still need to be on a Mark 3. Mark 3. This is pulling off for the encased industrial pipes. I'm sorry, that was 140. Steel frame was 45. Okay. So now we're down into a Mark II belt. I'm going to go ahead and do that here. And then this goes into, excuse me, making the heavy encased frames. And that's another 50. And I forgot that I'm taking some off to the mall, but that's fine. So that might bring us down below the below this mark. What else is taking these? The last thing is taking these. The last thing that's taking these is the stators. And the stators only need 32, so I think that's okay. Kind of do like a compression like you would if you happen to be a HVAC person or something, that you would in order to control the airflow in your house or whatever. And the steel beams are fine. I'm using the priority output here so that anything goes left and then overflow goes right. I'm doing the same thing on all of those, and I think that works out well. So that takes care of pipes and beams, which is great. Here we have the steel coated plate. Actually, let me mark off that I finished pipes. Marked, finished. The steel coated plate, and I get shamed for using this recipe. Mostly by Caledon, but I used it because I thought it was interesting. Yes, I'm using oil products to make metal, and oil products are a pain to make, but it's kind of an interesting recipe in that you think, thinking about it, you can use steel to make steel and plastic to make iron plates. It's kind of funny, and it was kind of a special recipe at the time. It was one of the new fancy recipes and such. So these are all need to just be 100%. I don't want to do the copy paste here, though. I'm just going to drag it because I don't want an inventory full of crap. All right, so those are all not 100%. So that means that we need to have... We need to be able to handle 135 of these. That's 15 plastic and 22.5 steel, which is the other reason that I did it. It's super duper low throughput. So I want to make this a Mark III belt all the way along here. And then I'm going to make it a Mark III lift. And then we'll keep going. Oh, I guess that should be a Mark III lift on the other end of this here, too. The amount going to the mall is minimal. I lost my place. 45 actually is going to the mall, but that's fine. And then that puts us down... Actually, a Mark II is fine here. All the way down. We're only using a few for... looks like the beacons. Oops. Yeah, 75 go to stitched iron plate, 15 go to beacons. So I'm going to keep it on a Mark II belt all the way down to stitched iron plate. Wait a minute. Where's the rest of them go? Oh, they go to the mall. Right. Okay, so really it's... Yeah, I'm going to keep it on a Mark II, but it really probably doesn't need to be a Mark II. And I must have misread that when I looked at it for stitched iron plate. No, it was a Mark I before, and we upgraded it to Mark II. That's right. Now I've lost my place. Oh, there's where I was. Okay. Yes, I upgraded it to a Mark II where we need it, and then that belt ends right there where it's supposed to end. Great. Alright, so we have that, and yes, the items are still flickering on the bus. Or on the belts, rather. Go through. And then we have one assembler, or one constructor, rather, making the steel rods, because it makes 48 per minute. And that's plenty. Those are almost all going to the mall, with the exception of 5 that go to make beacons. So that's fine to be a Mark I belt. Goes this way. Does split right there, but those just go down there, and the rest of these come into the mall. And again, I have it set to be a priority for them going that way, even though it's not really necessary, because no matter what, it'll get 24 if it's an even split, and it only needs 5, so that is fine. We can mark that when it's done as well on my spreadsheet. Oh, I didn't mark steel-coated plate either. And then we have next the aluminum stuff. And I'm glad we came back here to revisit this because something's still up with this. And it looks like aluminum ingots is what's up. We are not getting anywhere near enough aluminum ingots. Let's go see why. Maybe I have a belt messed up or something, but we're not getting anywhere near enough of these. We should be getting aluminum ingots 504. And this is on a Mark V belt, which is 780, but still should be better than that. I'm not getting that much scrap. Coke is the problem. It's pausing everything. Possibly at least the problem. Yeah, because you're waiting to unload. And we're not getting a steady supply of Coke. Do I have enough Coke coming in here? That is the real question. Aluminum something? Aluminum scrap. And where's the Coke recipe at? I can never find this recipe. It's always so weird to me. 131.7. We're also not on a fast enough belt. Let's go ahead and upgrade that, and maybe we should go down to oil and take a look at that as well. Just to see if there's something we can do to upgrade it, even if just temporarily. And there should be. Let's see. Go here, and then here, and here. Nope, I'm on the wrong thing. There we go. Go there. And I'm out of steel beams. Let's go to the mall and get some more steel beams. Power failure. At least we can see what's kind of on these belts now, unlike before. I don't have any power at this end of the mall. Oops. Guess I should fix that. Let's get a bunch just in case, and then... There's no power at this part of the base. It's kind of funny. Okay, there we are. Charge up. 3 lift. This might be dangerous. It says I'm good, but I don't know that I'm actually good. Yeah, there we go. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, that's the Coke. Let's do a Mark III belt. Here. Here. We need it anyway. Let me just put on my Guitarium shoes. See how sparse that is? I don't even know if I'm in the right spot anymore. Now I need my flight suit back. Okay. This is it here. I've got plenty of power available now. Mark III lift. Mark III belt. Excuse me, whatever I'm bumping into. And then another Mark III lift here. And a Mark III belt. No, Mark III lift. Well, maybe. Let's take a look at this. So you're set to make just 80. There's our problem right there. We need to have 100 and... Ooh, I didn't update this recipe. How did I miss that? Something isn't right. I did something. Somewhere I did something. Or I didn't update these recipes down here well enough. Definitely one of those. On my spreadsheet, I'm seeing some numbers that I don't particularly expect. I'm going to pause for a moment and take a look at these numbers, and I'll be right back. And welcome back. So I took a look at the numbers, and somehow, someway, I managed to not update the aluminum processing properly. And I don't know how I didn't notice it, but it is not even close to correct. So we're going to have to redo that also. Do I have enough room here for another refinery? If I'm okay with it clipping. How much clipping is going on? Can I call that too much clipping? I need another refinery of coke. Because we need to make 1.68 refineries worth. I could overclock the one. If I didn't want all this clipping going on, I can't clip that, yeah. Okay, we're just going to overclock this one then. Which means that we need to get another slug. Alright, another slug it is. And then we need also to fix all the aluminum. So I think, given all of that, I think our best bet... Can I make this flight? Yes, I can. I think our best bet might be to end here and say that all the work we did on the bus today was a good amount of work. And then in the next episode, I will have some slugs ready to go, or some power shards ready to go. And I will also need to... maybe I won't need to. It'll be close. I might need to do a little bit of tweaking here. We need to add a third refinery making electroaluminum scrap. We need to add a third refinery making sloppy alumina. And I'm probably going to take one of these smelters out here that is making aluminum ingots and then overclock the one next to it or whatever, adding another 80% to it so that we can compensate for this one. So there's that. And then we'll be producing the correct amount of aluminum ingots, and we'll also need to increase that output of petroleum coke so that we're producing the correct amount of aluminum scrap, so that we are able to produce the correct amount of ingots. So I will prepare the slugs for next time, and then we will do the overclocking and do the extra building. I'll probably rip this out and change this around a little bit and be ready to go with that in the next episode. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.